Bonjour. In today's lesson, we're going to talk about les quantités. Okay, so quantities. We're going to be talking about how to use quantity words and their meanings as well. So just to quickly go through the quantity words that we have in our vocabulary, we have un paquet, un pot, un gramme, un kilogramme, une livre, un litre, une douzaine, une boîte, une bouteille, une tranche. Now there's one word in particular that I want to talk about, which is une livre. And we've called this a pound. It actually refers to about 500 grams, which is very close to an American pound. But keep in mind that it's not exactly the same. So une livre is 500 grams. Okay, so it's half of a kilogram, but it's approximately a pound, but not precisely. Okay, so keep that in mind. And now we're going to see a few images as to how these words are actually used. So we have un paquet de légumes surgelés. So a packet of frozen vegetables. Okay, in this case, carottes. Next we have un pot de moutarde. Un pot de confiture. Okay, so it's going to be a small container or a jar, something along those lines. It could be a yogurt container. Okay, un pot. Here we have un litre de lait. Okay, so kind of doing some math here a little bit. So here's le beurre, and it comes in 250 grams, which is half of a livre. We could call it une demi-livre. Okay, une demi-livre we can call it, or we can just say 250 grammes de beurre. Okay, if we have two, that is une livre de beurre. And if we have four, that adds up to 1,000 grams, and we can call that un kilo de beurre. Here we have une boîte de petits pois. C'est une boîte de conserve. So remember that a box can mean literally a box, or it can also be a canned good. So une boîte de conserve is any kind of canned good, something that's being preserved in a can. Sometimes they come in the shape of a box, and sometimes they don't, but they still say une boîte. Une douzaine de, une tranche de jambon, so a slice, une bouteille d'eau minérale, une bouteille d'eau minérale. Okay, so if you're paying close attention, you may be asking yourself, why is there just a DE or a D apostrophe in this case? Why is it not une bouteille de l'eau minérale? Why isn't there an L apostrophe or a le la le? Because it wasn't in any of the pictures that we just saw. The reason for that is that any expression of quantity is just going to use de. So let's examine that a little bit more closely. So you've been taught that when de meets le, it becomes du. When de and la come together, it's de la. When de and le come together, it's le, it should be de. And when de and l'apostrophe come together, it's de l'apostrophe. Okay, when it is an expression of quantity, okay, this rule does not apply, all right? If you have an expression of quantity, for example, une tranche de jambon. Jambon is a masculine word, but we're not using du. We're only using de. Okay, so it does make it a little bit easier when using expressions of quantity because you don't have to try to remember whether the word is masculine or feminine because it's only going to be de with expressions of quantity. All right, so if we look back at our examples, we can see again that we have un paquet de légumes surgelés, un pot de moutarde, une tranche de jambon, un litre de lait, 250 grammes de beurre, une boîte de petits pois, une boîte de conserve. Okay? Now you might notice that some of these show up as being plural. Okay? So if you take a look, légumes surgelés is plural. Légumes is plural. The reason for that being is that there are many vegetables inside this bag. Okay? There's one bag, so this is singular, but there's many vegetables inside of it. Okay? Here, now really we can see at least 3 or 4 slices of ham, so we could actually say 4 tranches and make that plural de jambon. Okay? 4 tranches de jambon. Okay? Ham doesn't change at all, but it's 4 slices of it. Okay? We have une bouteille d'eau. Remember that if the D meets a word that starts with a vowel, it's going to contract. So une bouteille d'eau minérale. Un litre de lait. 250 grammes. Gramme is plural. There's more than 1 gram. There's 250 of them. Okay? So I hope that is making things a little bit clearer. I don't think that this is too difficult, but you just have to remember that with expressions of quantity, you're only going to use de. You're not going to use du or de la or des or de à l'apostrophe. Only de. Okay? Le partitif au négatif, something changes when you're using the partitive in a negative sentence. So all forms of the partitive, du, de la, de à l'apostrophe, and des, all change to either de or des apostrophe if the next word is a vowel or vowel sound after a negative. Okay, so let's take a look at what that looks like. So in the affirmative, we have je veux, meaning I want, je veux du pain, je veux de la crème, je veux de l'eau, je veux des carottes. So I want some bread, some cream, some water, and some carrots. Okay? But if you're saying that you don't want those things, okay, you don't want any, remember your word any, négatif, je ne veux pas de pain, je ne veux pas de crème, je ne veux pas d'eau, je ne veux pas de carottes. All of these that were du, de la, de à l'apostrophe, and des change to de because now the sentence is negative. Okay? But remember that is only going to happen in partitive sentences. If it's using a definite article like le, la, or les, that does not change. It stays the same. J'aime les carottes, je n'aime pas les carottes. Okay, because you're still speaking in likes and dislikes, even though this is a negative sentence, it's still a dislike. All right? So, partitive, du, de la, de l'apostrophe, and des, change to de in a negative sentence. So I'm going to wish you bonne chance, and I will see you next time.